Welcome back, Wise Guys BBQ fans. Here it is. It's May 2nd. We made it to May. Woo! We are so psyched. Barbecue season is upon us. And you know what that means is Monday, right, Charlie?
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, that's why we're here with the butcher today. We got Tommy the Butcher in the house. Whoop, 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 whoop. Tommy's got some information on his paella cook that he did that just dropped on May 1st. Yeah, so let's get things off adequately. Here we are again with Mr. Charles Baldwin, my left side, and me, Vin Picaro here, and, you know, Tommy Pino, the butcher. Tommy's starting to get some really there are girls showing up on Cook Day, Tommy, that I don't know what to do with anymore. We're going to have to get security out there or something, or sick my guard dogs on them or something.
Stud. Wouldn't that be something?
But,
Chef Stud.
Yeah, seriously, your cooks are really taking off. I love not only the clicks, but I love the interactions that people are having, and that's why we did Paella. It was one of our interactions. I was trying to get the actual name of the person, but it was off one of Kristen Picaro's posts on Facebook. A woman came in with a challenge and said, "Hey, how about cooking a paella?" So Tommy stepped right up and got one done for us. Not only got it done, but did it the Wise Guys way, right? So we did a little couple of Italian twists in there, which he'll tell you all about in a minute. So we'll be reviewing that today. And Mr. Charles Baldwin will be giving us some barbecue news, as well as some information from his articles that he's been digging around the world.
I'm on it.
Yeah, barbecue around the world is really doing well. A nice little series there. I actually didn't know it was going to be a series.
Well, neither did I. But then I just said, hey.
You went with it.
I just started going west, and there we go.
No, they're fantastic. I love reading them, and you guys should check them out too. It's on barbecuenews.com. Give it a whirl. It's you'll love the articles. So we'll get going. I don't know. Maybe I might even put up. You guys, I'm not going to put up the video of the cook in this video because you can go watch it. It's out. It's on. It's online. Go check it out. It was tremendous. Tommy, tell us about it. What did we do? What didn't we do? God, I don't want to embellish on your minute here because I'll tell you.
When you first heard that the challenge was paella, what went through your head?
Absolutely nothing at first. It was more like a stunning effect. I think I may have lost consciousness, but when I came to, I realized, no, it's a real thing. We got to do this. So like Vince said, we get these challenges. Most of the cooks we always try to make adaptations and put little spins on them so that we can give you something that is Wise Guys barbecue style. And as the case was with paella, of course, I had to do a little research, and we came up with a technique where we were going to do the paella out on the grill. Now, going back to the earliest time paella was actually even originated, it was in a town in Spain called Valencia. And back then, all the paella was cooked over an open flame.
Yeah.
So that was a goal. I saw that, and I'm like, boom, automatic. We got this. Wise Guys barbecue style. We're going to get it out on the grill. And, of course, the next step was trying to think of ingredients that I might be able to switch off. So we'll start right from the broth at first. Sometimes when these broths are made with a paella, normally it's done.
I'm going to interrupt you, and I don't, not to ruin your flow because you're doing really well. It's just that, I think you need to explain that the whole key to this dish is the layering of the flavors, right? You just can't. It's not a mix and go. You don't just throw everything in a pot and cook it. You really have to go. Tell them about that. Please. I'll shut up now. That was important. I learned a lot. So I'm going to cook this on Cinco de Mayo, and I really learned a lot from the video because you took your time to every aspect of the cook. You layered it. So go.
Right. So other than the main ingredients, which everybody knows of, you think of your rice, your shellfish, seafood, sausage, chicken. The most key part to a paella is the base application of the sofrito. Now, with a sofrito, what that is just cooking down garlic, onion, pepper, and in some cases tomato. As is the case with the paella, you need to develop all those ingredients together, cook them down so you're basically forming a paste. Now, with us doing this out on the grill, I realized that wasn't going to be wasn't going to
achievable.
really work because
Yeah.
we'd be out there for a long, long time and trying to get that cooked down, getting all the liquids to evaporate and getting a nice pasty substance that you like. We decided to do a broth inside, and in building that, what we did is we sauteed some garlic and we replaced the tomato with a tomato paste. So that allowed us to cook that down, very concentrated. And to that, we added some chicken broth, we added saffron, and we added what normally they use wine sometimes, but we added an Italian vermouth.
Yeah.
So that was
So they use a dry sherry,
they used a dry sherry,
right?
And
you were smart
yeah,
to.
we went with that. So that was how we built our broth. And at that point, what you do is you take that out to the grill, and once you have all your rice, your onion all started, and of course we're using a paella pan, and the grill's up on high. You want high heat to start all this. We sauteed our onion, and then we got all our rice in.
Yep.
And stirred that around till well coated, and then in went our broth.
Yep. So, and you also you had to cook off. So you substituted on the sausage side. The traditional recipe usually calls for some kind of Portuguese sausage or chorizo.
Right.
You went with an Italian sausage, right?
Exactly. So one of the main key, most common ingredients is the sausage in a paella. It's usually a chorizo. I said, Wise Guys BBQ. I'm going to swap that out with a spicy Italian sausage. So that's what we did. We grilled that off, and that was the sausage component we added to our paella as we were building it.
Which is very, very simple to smoke that off as well. I don't know if we were weather challenged that day or not, but we decided to grill that rather than smoke it. But you can smoke that sausage, which would have made it even better. But we grilled it. And you also grilled your chicken, right?
Yeah, we grilled our chicken off first, not all the way through, just enough to get some flavor on it, char on it, some smoke on it, and then it would actually just finish off in the cooking.
Yep.
So, so we began that, and once we had our liquid in the pan, and we began to build with all our shellfish, chicken, and at that point, we had to lower the lid, just let it continue for about 20, 30 minutes, I believe. We had the grill on high heat.
Yeah.
And
you had that thing smoking.
Right.
It was smoking and was awesome when you added the sofrito. And then you used an arboro rice, right?
That's right. We use an arborio rice. Normally in traditional styles with paellas in Spain, they use what's called a bomba rice or a Valencia rice. That's a short grain rice, which lends itself well in paella making, where it absorbs all the liquids, the broth in a quick fashion. So I thought we would try something different. Being Wise Guys BBQ, we're going to do an arborio rice, which is an Italian rice commonly used in risottos. That's a medium grain rice, but as a substitution, it worked perfectly fine. It really came together well and held up well.
Yeah,
and what that did, one of the key objectives in doing a paella, especially with an open flame on a grill with a fire, it's the formation in that pan, what's called the socarat. And what the
Excuse you?
The socarat.
The bathroom's behind you.
There's something wrong with his throat.
Socarat. And what that is once the rice has begun to absorb all the liquids present, and you got that high heat flame on the bottom of that pan, it begins to caramelize a little bit, and then it will begin to just form a crust somewhat. And it's a very fine line where you can go with this. You got to keep an eye on it because you don't want to get it to get too fast along, and you're going to end up with burnt rice.
Sure.
But that socarat, that's the highly sought after goal of any good paella.
Yeah.
A lot of flavor in that. Yeah.
Yep. It's just the texture, the flavor, the concentrations of everything in that pan all coming together.
So you made a legitimate 19-inch pan full of this stuff. So there was a lot of leftovers because, it's only the couple of us, three of us that are here that enjoy that later. So it was funny when you did some takeaways for folks, you had to include, a good layer of that rice and soap of nuts.
Yeah.
Sounded right.
Because that is where all the flavor is. I mean,
exactly.
You got a ton of other stuff going on in there, but that's where the baseline is.
Right, and you're checking on this thing every few minutes. You're lifting the lid. You're going over there. Now all of a sudden you see a quarter of the liquid is now gone.
Yep.
You can see that absorption taking place. You can begin to see the little necks pop open slightly. The shrimp is turning pink. And as you're watching this, every time you go to it, it's another stage of color, and everything just begins to pop out at you. And
because that's how you loaded your proteins. You did
Right.
it, in sequence of what would cook faster. I think you ended with the calamari and the little necks.
Exactly.
And you
Ended that
did the
with the calamari
sausage
last.
and the chicken, and there was calamari and little necks last, and then there was, what am I missing? There was something else.
Shrimp.
The shrimp. Yep.
The shrimp
thank
was
you.
in there.
Shrimp was in there. Yep. So everything, was just, it came together amazing. And and it's funny when we do these things because Tommy is, super, super thorough when he checks out these recipes and he preps. The first time he did it. So he goes in and he's like, and he doesn't act like he's done it a million times. He's just doing it. And it just, when it comes at the end, it's like, nailed it, like the beef Wellington.
Yeah,
Just like, who says, oh, I did beef Wellington the first time on film and I nailed it, right? Perfectly pink, beautiful. Even I screwed up the cum shot on that. Boy, I don't know. But yeah, no, that was well worth it. And get out there, folks. It's not hard to do. It takes a little time if you're going to do it right. I'm sure there got to be like shortcuts and kits you can get.
Yeah. What was the start to finish? What was the time for you guys?
Oh my God, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, I think it was an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not
I
bad.
don't think the cook was that long.
No, and because he did it in setups, right?
Yeah.
So he did the sausage,
Maybe
he
2
did the
hours.
chicken, he did the sofrito, and then he pulled it all together. And then inside the pan, inside the grill, I think it was only 20 minutes, half hour.
Yeah.
Pulled together.
3 hours.
And that, like, so think about it. If you're having a cookout, right? So first problem, if you're having a cookout, now I know I'm talking to a barbecue audience, so excuse me. And by the way, I'm going to pause. You need to subscribe. Take a minute, hit the damn button. We need to get this channel up and going. I get yelled at by my producer every week. You don't say subscribe. You don't. Okay.
If
please,
you're watching,
please,
subscribe.
Subscribe. We need you. We do this for pure vanity.
Vanity is the word you're looking for.
But at the same time, we'd like to get some appreciation. So if you take a minute, hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Now, what was I talking about? No, so it's okay. You're at a barbecue. You're going to cook barbecue, right? Hot dogs, hamburgers, sausage, steak. How much beef meat can you eat, right? Okay, you can have macaroni salad, potato salad, whatever. This thing is perfect, right?
Nice change up.
It's a change up. It takes 30 minutes to cook, so you're doing some, you're eating some tortillas while you're doing it, right? Tommy had a great idea because I was actually going to do a couple of tomahawks aside of this paella, but he's like, no, don't do that. Why don't you do, what did you tell me to do? What was the roast? The underneath the spoon roast, you said.
Oh, the picanha.
Do the picanha.
Perfect.
Smoke a picanha.
Paella and picanha.
Yeah, the peas are going to have it.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah, no, and it's fun. And it's fun. And like, you don't have to do, it's not like a cooking show, right? You don't have to have a show for your audience, but because you have to maintain it, because you have to apply it, it takes up time and it's fun. And everybody can help, right? Somebody can go over and throw the little necks in. Somebody can go over and turn it, stir it. It's not hard to do. So I highly suggest people go out.
So how's that hold up? Like, can you make this something you can make ahead of time and then...
you can make a lot of the components. You can do the chicken, the sausage, and the sofrito. You can do all that like hours ahead of time, put in the fridge, right? Then you just come together, drop your rice, drop your sofrito, get everything going, put in because everything else is fun, right?
Yeah.
You put your shrimp in, pinks up. You put your little necks in, they open up, right?
It's fun building it. It's very interactive. And
yeah. It's like a s'mores, but seafood and Spanish stuff. All right,
so if you're looking for a shrimp s'mores,
there you go. Get in on it.
Get in on it. Well, that sounds awesome.
No, it was delicious.
I've had paella many times.
So margarita and paella is the way to go on Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, and I know first of all, paella is a Spanish dish.
Yeah.
And we know we're bringing this up on Cinco de Mayo, which is actually a Mexican in origin holiday type of thing. But
Day, right?
I mean, they have their own versions of paella where they basically are doing the same procedure making it, but there's just certain variations on the ingredients. They can be using more corn, more like peppers, like poblanos and serrano and that type of thing. So I just want to
because that's what's available in Mexico, right?
Well, no, but you can take it in Spanish. Like we did it. We did traditional, like you would get at Casa Lupita if it was still in business today.
I love Casa Lupita.
I love that place. I don't know what happened.
It's an insurance company now.
Yeah. But like we went like middle of the road, real traditional, something everybody would identify with. But if you wanted to do poblanos, if you wanted to spice it up with some chili peppers, even you could really trick it out if you want to, and you should. You know, it's everybody's. It's the perfect. It's a canvas, right? That paella plate is your canvas to have fun. As long as you got the rice and the sofrito in there for the baseline flavor, everything's is up to you. It's a blast. So that was well worth it, and I'm going to take good advantage of it with some margaritas on Monday. I'm going to take my day out of work on Monday. Who do I call for that, by the way? And then I'm gonna enjoy a nice paella on the deck. I think the weather's supposed to be nice. Hopefully it will be.
Think so.
But yeah, so keep it coming, folks. We're not afraid. We're not afraid of you. We'll take you on. Actually, I'd like to talk to one of our listeners and promoters and lifelong friend, Johnny Z, who challenged us with some Rocky Mountain oysters. And Z, we got him coming. We found him. Charlie was able to source him. Mr. Brisket, our wonderful guest last week, is going to hook us up. But Johnny, you're going to be a little disappointed, right? Because they're not going to be the bull's balls. They're going to be veal balls, right? So you're going to have to tame down your appetite a little. Anyways, no, for sure, we're definitely going to get the Rocky Mountain oysters in here, and that will do. We'll actually push it into an episode. We'll do a little cook outside of this room because we're not cooking in this room, but we'll definitely pull it into the video so we can show you what we did. And I don't know, maybe we'll even try to get it like driven up to you so you can do the tasting for us. So more from the barbecue world and barbecue news. A lot of competitions, guys. It's just like rapid fire now. Usually right after Mother's Day. It's just one after another. But what was the one in Mass and Joey?
The first one we ever went to was the Mass in May event in Rentham.
Right.
Or Rentham, whatever you want to call it.
Rentham.
That's an inclusive barbecue event.
Yeah, no public. It's not open to the public, but it's strictly competitors. But we got our first taste of what it was really like. I met a lot of great people up there.
Yeah, fantastic people.
Yeah, but we met the guys from, was it Big Dog?
Big Dog Sauce.
Big Dog Sauce. Actually bought some stuff.
There.
I think it was his wife that was running the stand, but also met a lot of people and got to know some people from out of state, from Texas and Arkansas.
No, you're confusing that with the state one.
Is that the state one?
The one with the pouring rain. That's not.
Oh, you're right. I'm on drugs.
Yeah. No, this.
It was raining. It was raining in Rentham too.
Yeah,
right.
We bring the rain. Remember?
Yes.
That's our job. You can count on it, folks.
Rentham was the one where
you see barbecue news there. You know it's raining. Don't worry about the news segment, or the weather segment of the news, because it's hitting you in the head. Yeah, that was.
Rentham was the one where you were determined to make the toast in the.
Yeah, I wanted to see that. The 922. I thought that was great. Well, I forget who said it. I think it was John Egan. John Egan was like, hey, if you're going to go there at 922 because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it was. And Kristen Kimball did that, fashioned those cocktails for that shot like she usually does. And that was fun to see. Kathy Trainer, I think she's owner of Inclusive Barbecue Events.
Yeah, she was awesome.
It. Yeah, she invited us up and she got us, like an introduction to every team there. So we walked around, we met everybody, we kind of introduced ourselves, took some notes, dropped our cards. It was a good way to get started. That was great.
And is this right? It's part of the Northeast KCBS Triple Crown.
Yeah,
is that correct?
I think you're right.
Says here,
is that what it says there? I don't know exactly.
Yeah, and there's $1,000 bonus.
I wonder what
if you win that.
I didn't know they had the KCBS had a Triple Crown. I know the CBA has a Triple Crown.
Yeah,
but no, that's cool. And cool. So I went, you know what? I'm going to try, if she wouldn't mind. I'm going to reach out to Kathy and see if she'll do a virtual podcast with us next week.
That'd be cool.
And tell us a little bit more about that. Because that's super interesting. I didn't even follow it that closely. Last year I was wearing green leather shoes. I was right off the boat, folks. But But
I had some low cut track shoes on. Yeah, we were ready.
Yeah. So we need to find out more about this. But that's.
Are we going?
Well, I think we should go. I have the week. I have some time free that weekend, so that would be fun.
Butcher.
I'm in.
And Tommy's
Butcher's ready to do anything
Tommy's
right
up
now.
for it.
He's retired. He needs activity.
Yep, I have nothing getting in the way.
Tommy sent something else on the 10th, but that's the weekend.
Oh no, yeah, I'm gonna mention that.
Oh well, then I won't say anything about it. Mum's the words here. Say it. What do you got to go ahead and mention it? What are you waiting for? This is news.
I've got some news, and you all gonna want to hear this.
Oh, good.
In the world of food, we have a major gastronomical event coming up May 10th in Tennessee.
Ooh.
No, it's not Memphis in Tennessee. No, it's not the Jack.
The World Bourbon
It's the
tasting.
World Championship Bologna Eating Contest.
Oh, you're full of baloney.
And back to defend his crown, none other than Joey Chestnuts.
Wow, he's a legend.
Who last year...
Is that a real person?
That is a real person.
It's like Joey Walnuts from The Sopranos there. What's it?
Last year, he won, so he's a defending champion. And his feet, he ate 14 pounds of bologna.
The long way.
And the runner-up did 11 pounds. 14 pounds of bologna.
What's your colon like after that? I mean,
He has no colon.
he can't go home.
colon's
His
gone,
wife's not letting
brother.
him in the house.
So it's a straight shot from his mouth.
Oh my
out the back
God!
door.
How does he get health?
This guy's
How does he get health
pro.
insurance? Who's going to insure this guy?
This guy's a pro.
This
I
guy's
can't
a
imagine
pro.
that.
He actually
14
had
pounds of
some.
bologna.
There's a big controversy because he kicks the shit out of everybody at the hot dog eating contest every 4th of July, but I think he got disqualified.
Why?
I can't remember.
Is he watering the buns or something?
They allow that. In
It's actually like cheating. And
this is at the
little-
Nathan's contest.
No kidding.
I'll have to look that up, but it
He's
was some
got a
big
con-
controversy.
Nathan is producing something like
I don't know what he did.
like
I
hollow
can't
hot
remember.
dogs.
There you go.
I mean,
My
he's just been whipping
goodness.
ass. But yeah, he's a legend. That might be worth. That's probably on ESPN.
Yeah.
Could be bologna eating.
So who's going to Tennessee? I can't make it, but
Yeah.
You definitely want to go to see the bologna eating contest.
every pound. I want to watch every pound.
Tommy, if you
I
go,
can't
that's fine, but expect some blowback when you get back.
Literally and figuratively.
I'll mention it to the family. Who knows? Hey,
Hey,
you guys want to go to bologna?
Hey, we
Come
can
on,
stop off the biggest ball of twine in the world.
I'll drive. It'll be like family vacation. We're all in the station wagon.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Pam would love
Where you
that
got it going?
Great idea.
Awesome.
Things I would do if I had a private plane.
Really?
If I didn't have a conscience.
Yeah.
And then I think also right after Mass and May on the KCB side is Frog Alley in Schenectady, New York.
Yeah, I'd say that.
I can't. It's like Worcestershire.
Worcestershire. Schenectady.
I can't say Worcestershire.
I can't say Worcestershire. God damn it. But yeah, that's Frog Alley. They do a great job over there too. They always get up like it's like it's like visiting the sun usually the day of that event. Maybe they'd like us to go and bring rain, but
That's a KCBS Triple
Yeah.
Crown too.
so that's probably one of the other two
Yep.
triples.
Yep.
See, maybe we don't need Kathy. Maybe we can figure this out.
We might be able to.
That
I
was
don't want
one
to get
of-
cocky here.
Yeah, I know. That was one of the comments. So down at the southeastern New England Throwdown, the campground competition a couple weeks ago, Bob Bowman was there, and Bob, who frequents the show quite a bit, was talking to some of the competitors and just trying to get a beat on what's good and what's bad about this show and how and how can we improve it and all those wonderful stuff. And everybody says they like to have basically like, if not the Three Stooges, right? They like Moe and Larry, but they need a real guy in the middle. Somebody who knows their
Straight
stuff.
man.
They need a straight man, somebody who knows their stuff, other than the two novice guys. So today it's Tommy because of the paella, but sometimes we stretch on that one.
Yeah.
But for sure, so we thank those folks for those kind words, and we got more coming. We actually had we have people now reaching out to us to be contributors, either on the show or as a writer.
It's catching on.
Yeah, no, it's cool. That's what we invite that all the time. There's nothing inclusive about this. This is for everybody to get on and share barbecue, because We love barbecue, and that's that was a conversation we had. It just seems like in New England, other than the competitions, right? Because competitions, you got competitors, and you got fantastic cooks who, for some ungodly reason, do this year after year after year. But other than that, as far as restaurants go, it's different from other states, right? Because the folks who own the restaurants aren't the barbecue cookers. So they hire a chef who cooks barbecue. And if you got a good chef, you got a good barbecue. And if that chef doesn't leave you, which usually year over year does, there's no consistency of it. You go to Texas, there's a chef who started off in a trailer who ended up in a restaurant who's killing it, and people are now lining up the door. That doesn't happen in New England.
There's a culture for it there, and we don't have that in New England.
But we should.
There's a lot of love for it, but there's no deep-rooted culture.
But I don't blame it on the audience, right? I blame it on the entrepreneurs, right? You need to find, I hate to say it because it'll never happen, but if there was a competitor who decided to open up a restaurant, that would be fantastic because it would be great cuisine, and people would come year after year. It would be a sought after, right?
I think it's just, listen, if you're a pit master, okay, and you job opens up at Joe's Hog Palace in Rhode Island.
Yep.
And you go there and you put in a few years. This is not your dream destination if you're a barbecue guy. You know what I'm saying? Your dream destination is Texas or the Carolinas, or maybe even opening your own place. I just think say you're an Italian chef. Well, yeah, getting a job at one of those places up on the hill might be your dream job. Might be something you want to stay there for 10 or 12 years. I just think barbecue is right now in Rhode Island, and like you said, the pitmasters will come and go, and then each guy that comes in wants to put his own stamp on the food.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I don't think you can have a restaurant and a hired pitmaster. I think the pitmaster has to own the restaurant.
That's the best way.
And if it's in my opinion, you build it, they'll come. So you're right. You're gonna get a lot more people looking for barbecue in Texas, absolutely. But there's people who want barbecue here and want good barbecue and want it from an authentic person who can create it over and over again, not somebody who might be doing good this season because they got the top pit master, and then what happens next season? Because that's what you find. I mean, there was. I'm not going to name names, but there was a nice restaurant in Newport, right on the water. Had barbecue, had a great barbecue chef. They were killing it for 2 years, and all of a sudden, it's like they got the same name, but there's almost no barbecue. It's like, and if you order the barbecue, it's limited and it's not good, right? So why you're not going there for barbecue anymore? You're going there because you heard about it, maybe, or it's because it's on the water, right? But that's why I'm saying, take your analogy with Italian cooking. If I'm on the hill and I have a restaurant, or I'm out in East Greenwich and I have a restaurant, and I'm a cook, or I'm from a family who cooks, I can kill it. Would I rather be in New York or Florida making those meals? Sure, because the clientele is just so much more. But no, I would opt to do it and put my stake in the ground, right here where I live in Rhode Island, because I think it can be done, especially.
And Rhode Island Rhode Island has become a food destination, especially with the Italian
absolutely.
food. Yeah. People talk about.
But not a barbecue destination.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
And but we have some good barbecue in the area.
Definitely.
Maybe not necessarily in Providence.
Tommy was at one in Coventry. Tell me about your experience at, what was that?
We
Taco?
went to a place, Lake Taco. It's right on Lake Tioga in
There you
Coventry,
go.
Route 3.
Cinco de Mayo, Lake Taco, go get barbecue.
We just went there Friday night. I've been hearing great things about them, and of course, I've been hearing not so great things about them. But as my fashion always, I got to go try it for myself.
Sure.
And I went
Give 'em a
with
chance.
With my brother and a friend of mine. We sat out back on their. They have a nice concrete deck right on the lake. We ordered a platter, and it was for 2 people. And I thought we should get. Well, it's only 2. There's 3 of us. We should think about getting something else. We ended up getting a order of wings as well. And we decided, why don't we just stick with this, and we'll see if we need anything more after that. So we ordered a platter for 2. It came over. There was enough on there for 4 people. So we got the choice of 3 meats, and of course we selected brisket, which is always number 1, the ribs, and pulled pork. Only problem is they didn't have brisket available.
They sold out.
So yeah,
I'm gonna be. What time of day was it?
It was early evening. It was still light out. I would say 6
On a Saturday.
On a Friday night.
All right, so they sold out.
Sold out.
I'm optimistic. They sold out.
But she goes, well, it's going to be about 45 or 50 minutes. Can you wait for the brisket? And
yeah, that makes sense.
Didn't make sense.
Tommy knew better.
Anyways, everything was outstanding. Far exceeded my expectations. The sides were all tremendous. We got mac and cheese, coleslaw, and their beans. Beans were the only thing on that weren't that great. They were definitely homemade because the beans were a little too al dente. They weren't quite cooked to tenderness, but overall, it was outstanding. I'm telling you, definitely a return visit.
What's the name of this place again?
Lake Taco. And it's a fusion. They do tacos and they do barbecue. Most of the tacos, it's not taco in the sense of Mexican restaurant tacos. They do a lot of, with their barbecue meats, different variations, but just building a taco, not necessarily a Mexican-inspired.
No, I'm so glad you visited there and you had that report because, this came to me via, I'm going to say a barbecue snob, and they were like looking at the Instagram and they're like, oh, look at that pulled pork. It's so dry. I had pulled pork I made a week ago and it's out of the freezer. It looks more moist than theirs. And I was like, well, that's unfortunate. And they were just like, anybody thinks they can open up because they, you know what it is? These folks hate when they say like award-winning barbecue. Like what awards did they win? They won UGATs, right? Yep. So in the conversation, it was they were bashing, but they didn't have any reference, right? So you going and telling us that the food was good, and I don't know who would go like looking for barbecue at Lake Taco. Yep. But it's great.
Highly recommend. The only negative I have to say, the only thumbs down is the parking lot. It's literally a blacktop ski slope. It's got about a 90-degree pitch.
No kidding. There's nowhere else to park.
No, that's a parking lot.
I'll give you my
You have
handicap
a hard time leaving that. If you're all Bombolid, you're never going to negotiate that parking lot. You're going to be a mess. I'm telling you.
We've all been a little Bombolid around here.
But check it out, everybody. It's definitely,
all right.
Definitely
on the
a
list.
go-to.
I might hit
Lake
that
Taco.
this weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got a little theme going on Rhode Island Barbecue News. If you guys haven't checked it out, check out our website. I had taken a hiatus from writing for a while because I just didn't.
Got a heart attack. Heart attack. Just one long word. I couldn't
Folks,
make it out.
You can't get away with anything on this show. Okay, you can't finesse anything. You will be exposed. Anyway, let me start that over again. So I took a little hiatus from writing because I had a heart attack, and I picked it back up a few weeks ago and started looking at, because we always talk about barbecue as being everywhere, and some form or another. It's around the world, and everybody enjoys barbecue and the community and all that. And so I decided to explore a little bit, and we've gone to Australia and South Africa and Mongolia.
Yeah, you're nuts.
And the latest one was Hawaii, because I started remembering about the luau's and all that stuff and how it's as barbecue as you can get. You dig a pit in the ground, throw your coals in.
Primitive cooking.
Yep, throw your whole hog in there, cover it in coals and banana leaves, and let it cook for 6-8 hours, So
they were getting aroused.
Right. That's as barbecue as you can get.
But if you think about it, right? So you go back in history with any kind of meats, you had to store. There was only two ways to store it. You had to dry it, you had to smoke it, or you salt it, right? I guess. So those are your three ways. So a lot of meat was smoked, and like you said, they didn't have all those wonderful grills we have today. So they dug holes in the ground and they made their own in earth smokers. And this is what they did to cure their meat, to get through the non-meat seasons, if you will, right? When the cattle wasn't around and the weather wasn't so well. But that's why it's everywhere. Every culture has some sort of dried or cured meat that you might as well consider it barbecue because it was provided that way.
Yeah, and relatively speaking, this is a young country. compared to European countries and stuff. Barbecue came to us from other places.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And
we made it. We made a lot of it our own, but a lot of the techniques and the meats and stuff came. It came. People brought it from other countries, other lands, other parts of the world when they came to resettle in America.
All right, folks, that's going to bring us towards the end of our episode tonight. Please enjoy your Cinco de Mayo. Go out and make some paella. Enjoy that. Watch that video. It will be out. It's already out. It came out yesterday. So go click that up and check that out. And actually, the cook we did this week, Tommy, we'll have a video out on that too, which was fun. It was the smoked and braised oxtail. You want to give a little cliffhanger on that because that came out delicious.
Did another bright idea of mine. We did a smoked oxtail confit. Ooh. And what a confit is any meat that's braised in its own fat. The most popular, well-known confit is a duck confit, but you can do it with any protein. So we did it. What we did with that, we did a 3-hour smoke. We heavily seasoned it with 2-to-1 ratio of salt to pepper, and then a little bit of garlic powder, so that we can get that heavy pepper presence in the rub. That helps it to aid in the color formation, the bark, get it nice and dark. But we did a 3-hour smoke, and then we removed it, and we put some beef tallow, Wagyu beef tallow. First of all, the oxtail was a Wagyu oxtail. We put some Wagyu beef tallow in the pot for the braise. We returned it to the smoker for 3 hours at 300. About an hour shy, we added some rough chopped carrot, celery, onion, and a few sprigs of thyme just to get that in there, get a little more flavor, and to give us a nice presentation with the vegetables. So we ended up plating that up on a polenta cake. We spent like 40 minutes stirring polenta.
My chiropractor bill is going right to your house. Friggin' polenta. I got to stir that for 40 minutes. All right, just stir it for 40 minutes. Like cement. Like it was solid cement. You got to stir it until it came into a ball.
It was just like a basketball taken out of the bowl. You just sliced into it. But yeah, we plated it up on a like a nice polenta cake. We arranged the smoked oxtail around it, built a little mound of the vegetables in the middle, and it was absolutely delicious. So be on the watch for that.
So the vegetables were in that.
The vegetables were in the braise. They were in the tallow too. We had to strain everything off.
That was the best carrots I've had.
Those carrots were killer.
Beef flavored carrots.
Tallow braised carrots.
If you gave those carrots to a vegan, they'd punch you right in the eye.
I love carrots. I like sweet carrots candy when you have the butter and the brown sugar and all. But I'm telling you,
this is killer.
Beef tallow braised carrots.
Eat more barbecue, and we love you.
Please subscribe.
Absolutely.
Gotta get that one last.
Yeah, or else you might get bumbleed.
Yeah.
Peace.